welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm showing you how to get Sophie Turner's Met Gala look. I am so excited to share this tutorial with you guys. I am putting this as an unexpected part of my 101 series because I'm going to go really in depth and show you how to get this very dramatic, winged out, smoky, sultry, sexy makeup look. And I'm just so excited for it. If you are new here, I do have a playlist, will be linked up above and also down below. I just kicked off the series, so this is the second video to that. I will be covering every aspect of makeup, eyeshadow, brows, foundation, bronzer, contouring, highlighting, lips, all that good stuff will each be in its own video. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on so you are notified. Also, I do have another channel called Crystal Corner where right now I'm going over astrology stuff. So if you're interested in that, the link will be down below. I'm posting once a week over there. I also have a new Instagram, MakeupByMegB. Be sure to check that out. My other social media is linked down below, but everywhere else I am MakeupByMegB. So come say hi to me on my other socials, hang out with me. Today, I'm just so excited to share this. I'm filming this. It is Sunday. Episode 5 is about to air. This is the episode that Emilia Clarke said that you need to watch on the biggest TV you have. And if you thought episode 3 was intense, it's nothing compared to tonight's episode. So I already have anxiety about it, but I was so excited for the Met Gala. When I saw Sophie Turner's makeup look, I was instantly drawn to it. I thought it was like super freaking fierce. Stands up fierce. Hello, anybody else watch Game of Thrones? If not, you're missing out. I honestly was like wondering if maybe she used the collab for this, because I basically used the collab to recreate this. She in fact did not, but today's video is going to be featuring the Urban Decay Game of Thrones collab. I do have a playlist with other videos, my review, first impressions, swatches. I swatch all the eyeshadows on my eyes. All that good stuff will be in the playlist linked up here and also down below, so be sure to check it out. But yes, I recreated this look using this, even though they weren't the products she used, and I think it turned out pretty good. Pretty spot on. I blew out the lower lash line a little bit more than she did, so that's kind of my signature to the look. But yes, enough rambling, super long intro. I know you guys just want me to get into the tutorial, so before we do, be sure to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. Let me know your predictions for who is going to take the throne in the comments down below. Let's roll into it. Alright, so I am sitting here creeping on the internet, and it looks like Georgie Isdell is the makeup artist that did Sansa's Met Gala look. So looking at these pictures, it just looks like she has... Did I just call her Sansa when I meant to say Sophie Turner? Wow. Okay, it looks like Sophie just has really fresh, dewy looking skin, a more natural, simple brow, obviously the bold eyes, and just like a very nice, like juicy, glossy looking nude lip. Some slight contouring, a little bit of light colored blush, peachy blush, and that's about it for skin. The biggest challenge here is going to be the eyes, which I'm sure Georgie just, you know, probably did free-handed, but because I'm not that talented, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to make it work for us less talented people. But first, because of dewy skin, I am just going to go ahead and add my MAC Strobe Cream. This is in the shade Silverlight. My skin is super dry right now for some reason, so I'm not complaining. I welcome all the hydration that I can get. When I'm wearing my strobe cream, I apply the most amount of product where my natural highlights are and just kind of drag whatever is left over onto the rest of my face just so I feel nice and hydrated everywhere. You could also mix this in with your foundation, but I just like applying it first and letting it soak into my skin. Alrighty, so now that we have that on and we are glowing and beautiful, it is time to get started with the eyes. Off camera, I'm just going to outline my brows. I do this first so I can see kind of where everything is going to be into place. I don't necessarily fill them in right away because when I go over with foundation and makeup, it just gets covered up so I don't waste the time or the product. and then I'll be back to start the outline for the eyes. So for the eyes, it is going to be kind of a play as we go situation. All I did was take some tape shape to carve out my brows, and I just blended that down. I have my Morphe primer on. What I'm mostly going to be using today is the Game of Thrones Urban Decay collection because I think it's perfect for this look. I was kind of wondering if that's what she was wearing, but it turns out she's actually wearing Pat McGrath on her eyes, which I wish I could afford that. But today I'm going to be playing around with that, and then the pencils from this collection, I think that they will be pretty excellent dupes. So to get a shape going, I'm actually going to probably use this lip liner because it's pretty skin toned. If I mess up, it's not going to stain, it's not going to leave a big mark. I can easily wipe it away. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can map this out on my own, and if I'm really struggling, then I'm going to pull my tape out, but I kind of want to avoid using tape. So we'll see how this goes. And then also, obviously, I don't have great brows, so my brows aren't going to be as natural as hers, but everything else we're going to try to keep pretty spot on. So she has a cat eye shape, and it definitely connects to her lower lash line, so you definitely want to make sure that you're giving yourself like enough space to have things blended out all the way down here. And I'm just going little by little, barely tapping the pencil to my skin. And I'm just gonna make sure that I get the outer portion of the wing even, and then work on bringing it in and filling it in and connecting it, all that good stuff. All I'm doing is, again, just lightly sketching out. I'm just looking at the picture, and it looks like it's pretty rounded around her eye, and then the wing kind of swoops down and then connects at the other end. I also overextended the line just to give myself space to work with. So now that I have the outline in, I'm kind of going back and forth and trying to compare it to the picture. I feel like her crease is not, like, I need to lower this a little bit, but this is going to be the general shape of what we're working with. And as you can see, it is very easy to just wipe this away. So I'm just, again, going to kind of redraw this. And then still have it connect right there. And then all I have to do really is just wipe this line away, and it's like nothing ever happened. I can also go in with a brush and just fix it. So that's why I like using like a nude lip liner for eye looks like this, because it's just so much simpler. It's going to save you a lot of time, and it's just going to make everything easier. Okay, so for me, this is about as even as it's going to get. So I'm gonna start building on the shade, or on the shape and color first. So for me, I want to work darkest to lightest, and I also want to work with a pencil base and then use shadow on top. So for me, there is no better pencil than the Night King pencil from the Urban Decay collection. So I'm gonna fill most of my space in with this. Although it does look like she has a hint of black shadow right through the crease. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit of a crease color. So I'm gonna go in with that first, maybe use a little hint of black right on the outer edge, and then fill everything in with the pencil. I'm just gonna take House Lannister from this Game of Thrones palette because it is pretty light, it is pretty neutral, and she has a pretty, like a light nude color. So I'm gonna pick this up with the Morphe 506. And I don't want to blur this line too much, but I'm basically going to set this right in here and blend around the line we laid down. Before I go in with the black, I'm just going to take a matte cream. I'm just pulling this from my KKW Mario palette, if you were curious. And I'm just going to take a blending brush, and I'm going to hold it at an upward angle so most of that color is going right against the brow bone. I don't want to drag it too far down because it will erase the shadow that we laid down. I just want to lightly blend the two together. But in case you ever do blend your eyeshadow up too high, you can just kind of buff it out and erase it with a matte cream color or a matte white. Another reason why I do my brows last, because I get all up in there with shadow. Now for the black, I want to be very, very careful with it. So I'm gonna pick up light amounts and just go a little bit at a time, and in between each step, like I'm doing now, I'm gonna take this really big fluffy brush. It has no product on it, and I'm just kind of blending everything out. This product, I'm taking with 506. I am mostly gonna lay it down right under where that line is, and this is just take the black from the Urban Decay palette. You could use a matte black if you want. This just has like a slight shimmer to it. So this, I'm barely touching my skin. I tap most of it off because I want it to have like that light smoky effect. So barely touching the skin, just hugging that line. Probably not going to build it up too much more than this because it doesn't look like she had a heavy amount of black. And because we're covering this up with like a darker blue, I'm just going to go ahead and blend this down to the inner corner. And then just really concentrate on that edge where the black is meeting the lighter brown shadow we laid down, and having that just really fuse and blend together seamlessly. That's going to be the key to this part of the look. To further help blend that, I'm just going back in with House Lannister on the same brush that I used to apply it. And I'm just putting like half of my brush on the black, half of it where House Lannister originally was. And I'm just going to use small circular motions to help smoke and blend that out. And I'm keeping it pretty concentrated, so I'm having my brush pretty parallel because I don't want to blow it up. If I wanted to blow it out, I would hold it more at this angle to blow the shadow up and outwards. And again, if I wanted to blend it down, I would hold my brush like this. So brush placement, again, very, very important. And again, very, very light pressure. All right, here comes the scary part, laying down the dark blue. So I'm just gonna start, again, reinforcing that shape and bringing the pencil inwards, and we're also gonna blend it in with the shadow. What I really like about Urban Decay's formula is that it is super creamy, so you have playtime to blend it out before it sets into place, but once it sets, it's there. So this is the part where I just like have to be so silent and like not breathe so I don't mess it up. We got this. I'm gonna lightly blend around the crease. I don't think I really need to, but just a little bit. My favorite brush for this is the base shadow brush from Real Techniques. I don't know what it is, but it is just perfect for working with cream product. It's just like the way it grips the shadow or the cream product and just blends it out. I don't know, I don't think I really need to be doing this though. All right, before I erase these lines, I'm gonna fill in the other eye and see where I need to make adjustments and move on from there. By the way, can we just like take a minute and just appreciate this eyeliner? Like, hello. So beautiful. I'm in love with it. All right, everything is looking good so far. I'm gonna start working on the lower lash line, and we'll see how this goes. Again, I'm mostly just gonna use a pencil and smoke it out a little bit with a hint of black shadow. I'm like, should I put the shadow down first? I feel like I should probably put some of the shadow down first. I'm taking my Real Techniques detailer brush and I'm picking up the black shadow again. And I'm gonna lightly start smoking it out. So with this brush, I'm mainly gonna start placing this down, and then we can blend it out with a smaller, fluffier brush. And her inner corner is brighter, so I'm gonna stop it right about there. And her lower lash line does go down pretty far, so I'm gonna match this to where the liner stopped. Just following that shape down like that. Now what I'm doing, I'm going in with the 506. I wiped the product off and I'm just going to start blending the edges. And if you blend too far down, it's okay because obviously we still need to put concealer and everything on. So if you go a little bit too far down, we can correct that, but it's just laying down the general base shape right now. All right, so now that we have the black laid down, I'm gonna start going in with the blue. I'm not gonna bring it down quite as far as the black because again, like there's like that hint of smokiness, that hint of black that is just hanging out under the blue. Is there something in my eye? Because it feels like it. Okay. And I'm lightly bringing that blue all the way to the inner corner because she does have that. She just has a shadow on top of it to lighten it. So we're gonna do like a full circle moment here. Like so. With the same brush, I'm just gonna lightly smudge the edges of this liner. I'm gonna pick up a hint of black and just go over the edge of it. Now I'm gonna take the pencil Dragon Smoke. It's like this really gray, just smoky looking liner. I'm gonna put that on my waterline and smudge it into the blue because she does look like she has a bit of a black liner on her waterline, but you know, wanna keep it in the UD fam here. I wish the camera could actually pick up how beautiful and magical this pencil actually is. And then I'm just gonna lightly smudge that around. Right here, you can see the difference of smudging the liner into your actual lash line and just putting it on your waterline and leaving it. You can definitely see like there's that bit of separation right in through here. I also tightlined, so I put the black liner on my upper waterline as well, and I'm gonna do a very thin line with this for the same purpose, just to kind of blend it and just give some slight definition to the lash line. It makes all the difference in the world. So it looks like the sparkly, like true sparkly blue shade, she just sticks like literally true to her eye shape and just follows that. So that is what I'm going to try to mimic. I'm picking up a So Susan brush. This doesn't have a name or anything. I got it in an Ipsy bag, and I'm going to use Frozen North, and I'm so excited to use this color and just keep it. It's so interesting, like keeping it in the White Walker family for like a look that is basically Sansa. So for this, I am just literally going to pack it on. Actually, what I'm going to do, give a slight spritz of my face to Vicks Plus to help make this really stick. You are going to get so much fallout with this shade because it is like a chunkier glitter shade. So just be prepared. Ooh, that is just like so beautiful and velvety looking, but yeah, Fallout City faux show. But that is a-okay. Okay, so if you're like me and you got like a wee bit sloppy with the blue, just go back in with your one shadow brush that has like no pigment on it and just brush around the edge. Her inner corner is pretty light. I'm gonna start to get into that, but we'll mostly finish that after we get the rest of the makeup on. So I'm just gonna go in with this very like pointed or tapered packing brush. This is by Soho. Again, I'm gonna give my center of my face a little spritz. I'm gonna take the shade White Walker because I want this to be a little bit more unique looking, and this is like a dual chrome shadow. So it's gonna give a really cool effect right on top of this. Oh my God, that is so pretty. I can't deal with it. That is stunning. I may have to put this all over the entire lid to help it stand out because it looked like I said like this whole part of her eye was standing out a little bit more than the outer corners, but I think I just need to do the rest of my face and see how we feel about that before I jump into making any other decisions. I can't get over this. This is freaking beautiful. I say that and I slowly start packing more and more White Walker on top. Okay, for real though, done. Putting it down for now. We have to work on the face. So what I'm going to do to kind of clean this glitter up, I'm gonna see if I can just kind of swipe it away with this dual fiber brush. Nope, it is sticking, so makeup wipe it is. I'm gonna use a makeup wipe off the fallout, and re-strobe that area. And then I'm gonna go in with concealer to clean these edges up before we even think about putting foundation and everything on. I'm taking my e.l.f. eyeliner brush, just a flat brush. This is what I use to carve out my brows, Tarte Shape Tape. And I'm with very little product, because again, you don't wanna do too much and go overboard. I'm going to start to clean up. So again, this takes a lot of concentration. So we just have like that really nice sharp edge. I'm just gonna blend this downwards, take whatever is left, drag it out. That is how you clean up an edge. There you go. I'm gonna put on my foundation and be right back. If you're curious, I just use my Clinique Even Better foundation. If you search my channel, there is a review from a couple months ago about this, if you're curious. So for concealer, I just wanted to show you how I personally do it when I did my whole eye look first, and then the concealer part comes. And I also just mostly spot concealed and just really put foundation down over here. But because we're mostly covered, you don't need a lot. So with Tape Shape, I am just going to lightly dot it about over here. I can see some blue on the bottom of my nose. All right, I use a mini sponge just because I have better control over it. And I'm mostly blending out the product at the bottom first. Like dragging this around my nose and mouth area. Blending away most of the product, blending that into that flawlessly. And then once we get up here, I'm just with light pressure going to start blending it. And then again, if you brought things down too low, you could fix it with a makeup wipe. You can use like a heavier layer of concealer to fix it. So you can just kind of see how I just mesh the two together. Now, this is where the powder comes in. I'm gonna pick up some translucent powder, and then I'm just going to lightly tap it on. And what I do is that I also overlap the powder on top of my shadow, because it's, again, gonna help blend it together. This edge, I'm not gonna tap my powder into because it's so defined and it's already pretty cleaned up. So I'm just gonna go right below that with the powder and just lightly set this area. And then I just go right around the brow like that. And that is more my careful work with it. So I'm gonna go ahead, finish up the rest of my face, and then I'll be back to show you how I proceed from here. All right, we are back. We're up, set into place, and it's time to wrap up the eye look. So, even though Sophie's skin was very, very dewy looking, I personally, just set mine with a very light layer of powder, and we will redo, so don't worry. I just want to get wrapped up on this lower lash line, so going to hop back into the black and finish up the lower lash line. Again, hardly any new product. You especially want to be careful because we do have the rest of our base on, so if you get fallout now, it could be a bit of a problem. I am just going to lightly run this, And again, because I want to keep it up towards here, I'm holding my brush at an upward angle because I don't want it to blend down further than what I already have it. So just keeping it light like that, and that's gonna help mesh everything back in together. I still have to be careful because even just using that, I did get a little bit of fallout on my nose, so I'm just gonna try to leave it. I'm just gonna go over one more time on the under eye with the blue because I feel like the blue got a little lost in the black. Okay, so for the inner corner, that was definitely lighter and brighter, so I'm gonna take Winterfell Snow, again, a gorgeous picture, or pencil. It has like a very dual chrome aspect to it. You can kind of see there, and it really does from certain angles just look like glistening snow. It is such a pretty liner. At least go to the stores and swatch these eyeliners because they're truly so unique. I am going to work on the inner corner, so I'm going to pick up White Walker again and start to pack that on the inner corner. This isn't giving me quite what I want, so I'm gonna go ahead and go outside of the collection sheet. This is Ofra Glazed Donut. It is super blinding. Nothing can freaking beat this highlighter. There we go. That instantly just went wha-bam. Okie doke. Now what do we do next? All right, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna take White Walker on this brush, spritz it with Vicks Plus, and lightly tap over the rest of the eye area because we're here. We might as well just go for it. And then again, I'm just keeping it straight to my eye shape, and that's why I love this brush because I can easily just go mer, mer, mer. And that's also gonna help make the wing appear darker, and it was darker in the photos. That is gonna wrap it up for the eyes. I'm gonna pop some mascara and lashes on, and then we will be back to finish up the rest of the face. We are back to finish up the face. I just have some Ardell Wispies on. That is what I went ahead and used. It looks like, judging by the picture, there's really like no definite contour. Her skin is pretty simple, which again, with an intense eye look, it's kind of best to keep the skin simple. So it looks like she just has some bronze on her. So I'm gonna use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I just wish my eyebrows were like actual eyebrows so I could have done them a little more natural. I'm sure I could have sat here for like 40 minutes drawing in individual hairs to make them look like hers, but I don't have the patience for that. Okay, this is looking pretty good. If you would like an in-depth about like foundation, concealer, using powder products, bronzer, contour, highlight, all that, like I said, actually, I don't think I've said in this video yet, but I am doing a beginner 101 series on this channel. This is probably going to be a part of it because it's just going to because I go pretty in depth and to teach you on how to do a really intense eye look. So I'll probably include this in that series. But I'm going to do a basic eyeshadow look next probably, and then I will start to get into the basics of skin and how my process is, the tools I use, why I use them, blah, blah, blah. So be sure to subscribe. Okay, I think this is pretty good. I'm just gonna take a little bit of bronzer on my nose. So I just used this Luxie 207. And because my skin is super finicky, if I can't go to town on my nose, it'll start to bust up. So I just lightly tap and barely feather and drag product. So just to have some sort of definition on the nose, and then I'm just gonna take like whatever is left and call it a day with that. Her lips look pretty simple. We'll do lips last. Okay, so because I did set with powder and I used a powder bronzer, it's starting to look a little bit flat, a little bit dry, so I'm gonna spray a lot of Vicks Plus on my face. I do have a handheld fan that I use to dry, so let's get to work. Let's get to work. I think this is the most I've ever sprayed. Pro tip, you kind of want to like slightly open your eyes so like your mascara doesn't glue shut. Some people cover their eyes, but I just like to get the whole face. As you saw, I mostly focused on my head and then on the lower part of my face. Okay, our skin is definitely looking a little bit more lifelike. Perfect. I'm actually gonna go change, let this finish soaking into my face, and then be back for highlight and lips. All right, things are slowly starting to come together. We have the hair laid, changed it up a little bit with my shirt. So now it is time to add the finishing touches. I love highlight, but it doesn't look like she has a ton of it on per se, and it looks like a very like wet, natural, glowy highlight. So I have a couple options in front of me. I think I'm gonna go in first with this Kristen Leanne Urban Decay highlight and start building up from there. I should have done this before I put my brows on, or like right after. So she definitely had a lot of dew and shine all over the high points of her face. So I'm just lightly hitting right here above my brow bone. I'm gonna hit my nose, my cupid's bow, my chin, and then of course the cheekbones. So here on the forehead, you can see we have that very like wet looking glow. That's what I love about the formulation of Urban Decay's highlighters, is that it gives you that nice wet look. It's not gonna be a chunky glitter. Can I just say what her and Joe Jonas did was like the cutest thing ever, how they like eloped to Vegas and had like a secret wedding. And to be honest, that's exactly what my husband and I did. We went to Vegas because we didn't want to wait to be married because we just moved across the country from back home. We both started jobs, so time off and trying to plan around the wedding was really hard. So we didn't want to wait like 2 or 3 years of being engaged to get married. We just wanted to get on with it. So we actually got married at the Little White Chapel in Vegas, and then about almost 2 years later, we finally had like our big wedding back home with all of our family and friends. It was basically like, surprise, we're already married. It was super fun. Okay, I feel like I have plenty of that on. And of course, I can't pass up the Mother of Dragons palette. For a blush topper to add some gold in, I'm going to take Verisian on this Luxie 522 brush. Tap most of it off. And I literally put this on the apples of my cheeks, especially since she doesn't have much blush showing. She has like a really peachy blush, which I should probably go in with now. This isn't as peachy as what she has, but it's like the most, it's the closest brush. It's really the only blush that I have. This is in the shade Partay by Tarte. So I'm just gonna put some right on the apples of my cheeks. It kind of blends into more of a contour, if anything, but there we go. We can say we put blush on. Okay, so back to this palette. So right here, you can just see the difference. It just brings the glow down a little bit more without it having like a white cast right there, which can look a little bit odd at times. And I'm a big believer that pink highlight now needs to be a part of like every look. So I'm gonna take a Drogon and just add a little for fun. It's not really gonna show up a lot. I wish this was a little bit more intense in pink, but it's just something fun for me to know that it's there. To set everything in place, I'm just gonna use my Morphe Spray. It's my final spray. I like this spray because it's like helps it. I really like this spray because it really helps to melt the powder into the skin, but it still gives it a little bit of a sheen to the skin, so it adds into the dewiness. And then normally, after I do this, I can feel all the dog hair that is like stuck to my face. Lastly, for lips, it doesn't look like she's wearing a lip liner, so I'm going to skip it. And of course, we have to use Lady Sansa for the Sansa look. And it's actually a pretty close dupe to what she has on. This is like a very sheer, satiny, like hint of color. And that kind of looks perfect by itself, but I just want to add a little bit more gloss. So I'm just gonna take this Dose of Colors and over the top, it's super, super shiny. Oh yes. It gives you that wet look without looking super glittery. I'm obsessed. Ah, that is it! I'm not gonna lie, when I first sat down to do this look, I was nervous to do it because I haven't done like a winged out anything in forever, but I think it is pretty spot on to Sophie's picture. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now you know how to do this look for yourself. I think it could be a really fun look for a night out. I think it's pretty sickening. Of course, I blew out the lower lash line a little bit more than hers, but that is just kind of my style and signature on the look, but I'm so happy with how this turned out. Yay! Don't forget to check me out on my other social media. I do have my other channel, Crystal Corner, linked down below. Be sure to follow me there, and I hope to see you guys back here soon. Be sure to subscribe on your way out. Turn on the notification bell so you can be notified when my new videos are out. And if anybody watches The Bachelorette, I'm doing review and recaps on my channel every Wednesday throughout the season. Makeup videos will be up other times during the week, of course. But yeah, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below, who do you think is going to end up on the throne? I have no damn idea. But yes, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.